Today on the American Truck Podcast. No Man's Sky was delayed a few days. Planet Coaster will require Steam. Nvidia releases information on a new Titan X. And someone has caught them all. Hello and welcome to the American Truck Podcast with Andrew C.
And Jefferson B.
And Freelance Gamer.
Oh,
Well,
dear.
yes, the good freelance gamer today is apartment hunting, so we have a substitute in his place.
Yes,
What are you talking about? I'm the real one.
That's what I said.
makes sense to me.
So,
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
right,
will the real-
indeed.
Slim Shady please stand up.
The GPS sometimes makes us go a dumb way. Ooh, that's
Correct,
That's a lamppost.
That was impressive, that was. I do declare.
I do declare as well.
See, today here in Microsoft News, we had this release of the Minecraft Story Mode, Episode 1, free to all people of all kinds of places and nations and things like that who wish to be participating in this wonderful game made by Telltale. Uber Shadow, what is your response to this whole free gamification?
Free games. And I am a freelance gamer, goddammit.
I too appreciate free stuff. It should be downloading if I wasn't already streaming and needing to maintain a Discord chat, but it will later to go into my seemingly never-ending pile of free and cheap games that I just eventually get around to.
Yep.
This is
what
a
did I
weird
get
turn.
stuck on?
I don't know. Leaving a man behind.
The world's smallest speed bump is what I got stuck on. Yeah, that does end today, so make sure you get on that if you do want the free copy of Episode 1. And it is to
Right.
celebrate the upcoming release of Windows 10 Anniversary Update, which is the beginning of
Right.
August.
That update that will affect very few people, but for the people that it does impact, oh, it's great. It's gonna be so great.
Yeah, indeed. I do know of a bunch of people who have been rapidly updating their systems to Windows 10, so that way...
Well, it's also because their
Take
Windows 10
advantage.
license key will expire in a couple of days.
Right.
As of PSA, as of the 29th of July, which if you're
Watching this
actually-
on the day it came out is today.
right, if you still have Windows 7 or 8, please upgrade to Windows 10. You need to keep your software up to date so you don't get hacked. This is important.
Unless you want to get hacked, then by all means, stay where you
Hey.
are.
You do you, man. I can't
Yep.
tell you what to do.
Yep, indeed. And,
But yeah, both a PSA and a free game made by a very reputable company.
yeah,
Speaking, Andrew C, do you want to take this next one?
sure. The Microsofts have said that if you have an Xbox Live gamer tag, well, it's going to expire after 5 years of inactivity. So you're going to make sure you want to actually log in every 5 years or so.
That is, if you can remember a password once every 5 years.
That is very, very true.
You know, here's what you do. This is how I remember all my passwords. Go to Staples, get a box of sticky notes. Okay, now hear me out. Hear me out with this. Take a sticky note, write your password on the sticky note. Then, so you don't forget the sticky note, take a picture of that sticky note. Upload it to your Facebook page. Tag Ghost Incorporate in it. We will remember your Microsoft passwords for you.
But yeah, so you do just make sure you log in, otherwise you'll lose your cool name every 5 years. I know
Right,
there
yes,
was a
of
bunch
course.
of people. There was like a million gamer tags that were released like last year. So,
Now, this does mean that there will be a bunch of new cool gamer tags that people can pick up.
right when people inevitably have forgotten them. Now they didn't
Right.
say when this 5 years starts. So like, did the 5 years start 3.5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, 4.75 years
Right.
ago?
I guess that is the big
You
question.
know, like, is
I
it
don't know.
5 years from when the terms of conditions update, or is it 5 years from an arbitrary date 5 years ago?
I don't know, man. It's Microsoft.
Who knows?
Things don't have to make sense.
Beware, your gamer tag might get deleted.
Right.
So hey, good news about the Planet Coaster. Well, one, it's going to require Steam, which is
Nothing wrong with that.
no problem there.
Fair.
The reason it's
Pretty
going
standard
to
fare.
require Steam here, going from Alpha 3 on, is because they're actually going to start implementing workshop support into the game, which means it has to have Steam. Otherwise, that
In
port-
alpha.
that core functionality doesn't work. So if you remember, the alpha period for this game has been very complete. So it's not too surprising to me that they would go ahead and add the workshop support in alpha, because it's getting the framework working and making sure all of the assets, when people add them in workshop, are going to work with the game properly. So it does allow them to test that functionality, and it does kind of make sense to do it in alpha.
Yeah, and I can see that making a whole lot of sense. What I'm more interested in is, what are people going to be submitting to the workshop for Planet Coaster?
That's a great question. I mean, if you remember Planet Coaster, you build everything literally yourself. So if you want the drink stand to have a giant Slurpee cup on the top, you have to put the giant Slurpee cup on it yourself. So it's going to be assets like that you would put on the workshop. And basically, what kind of shop do you want? It's going to be on the store.
Right. I guess it's interesting where it's like, if you wanted to basically replicate a certain mouse-themed theme park,
yes,
that we may or may not be tangentially affiliated with, that would be the way to go.
Indeed it would be. So that's one of those things. I mean, it makes sense. City Skyline has workshop support. I'm not terribly surprised the Planet Coaster would want to have workshop support. So
I think the most shocking thing for me is just the Alpha 3-ness of it, and the fact that that's such a bold move.
Right.
But like you've been saying, the Alpha releases for this game have been so solid that it's kind of refreshing in a lot of ways to see a game that is so upfront about its development and is waiting for their code base to catch up before they start pushing out releases.
Right, exactly. And now the third alpha comes out August 23rd. If you're already an alpha member, you've already got access to it. You can still, I believe, get alpha access on their store, but it's only for a limited time. Pretty soon they're going to remove that, and you won't be able to actually gain access to this game again until they go into beta, which then you will be able to buy beta access on Steam. Most likely a pre-order-y type thing where you're pre-ordering the full copy of the game, but you're getting beta access early. Is my assumption of how that'll work.
I mean, that's how I would do it, but then again, this company has been so full of surprises.
Yeah,
anything's possible.
Who knows what they'll do. They did say specifically that if you are an early adopter of this game, you will get a Steam code when the game releases. So just because you bought it early doesn't mean you're not going to get to play the game on Steam, which would be a terrible thing to do as a company, honestly.
I mean, you gotta get all those sweet trading cards, right?
If they were just like, yeah, no, I know you bought the game and it's required to use Steam, but we're just gonna revoke you that you're buying of the game because we're using Steam now. So they kind of had to give the codes out, but it's good that they reassured people that, just because we're switching to Steam doesn't mean that you're not gonna get a Steam code at the end.
Gotta get in all those sweet achievements, all those.
Oh yeah, those achievements and the trading cards, of course, because everyone.
Streaming. Don't forget the streaming platform.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Lots of things here with the Steams. So, speaking of pre-ordering things, remember we talked about Civ 6 a few weeks ago at this point?
Yes, the long-awaited but always respected Sid Meier's Civilization 6.
Yep.
Not the space one, but actually like a Civ 6.
One of the things that the developer has said is that if you want to get the Aztecs, you need to pre-order this game, otherwise you won't get them until they unlock in January.
So this makes me question: are the Aztecs going to be like super OP, super interesting, super cool? Like why of all people the Aztecs?
That's a very good question.
It's peculiar.
It is
and
very
I'm not upset at it. It's just one of those things that's just peculiar.
What did the Aztecs bring to this game that warrants them being locked down for 90 days after the release? So I mean, it's definitely an interesting move. I mean, it's kind of like, hey, we're going to restrict content from you if you don't pre-order the game. But if you pre-order, you get the full game immediately.
It's also very random, though. Like,
yeah.
I can understand if, like, okay, you get a pre-order bonus. We've seen that done for years now, but this is new.
Not really a bonus, per se.
But I don't know if it's good new.
Yeah.
It's just new.
So, one of the suggestions I saw, of course, is that the Aztecs unlock I think it was January 17th. The Steam's Christmas sale is basically a month before that. if you want to play this game, but you don't want to pre-order it, and you want to see how it is, maybe wait till the Steam Christmas sale. Pick it up at the, whatever tiny discount that it'll be, because it's still technically a new game. And then you only got to wait a month till the Aztecs unlock it, and it's really not that big a deal.
I guess I would hate to see, though, if, like, any of the news reporting websites or this podcast come out saying the Aztecs are the greatest thing to happen in gaming. Why didn't we get on top of this? Basically, if we have another Bitcoin incident, then it's going to be far more unique.
This is very true. But if the Aztecs prove to just be George Washington,
right? Then it's kind of like, okay, it's George Washington with cooler textures.
Hey, so with the Pokemon Go's that everyone is so into here, did you know someone in North America completed the North American Pokedex?
Could you say he's a Pokemon gone?
He's a little bit. He's missing a couple things, but those are all things that aren't available in this region, from best that everyone has seen. He's caught 4,269 Pokemon, hatched 303 eggs, and walked supposedly 153 kilometers over 2 weeks.
Now, this makes me question, because there's certain Pokemon right now that aren't even in the code base. So you can't complete the 151 Pokemon required to complete the Pokedex without getting every single Pokemon. Ditto is not yet even in the code base. So even with hacks, you'd have to do some sort of injection to get it in.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that type thing. I'm guessing what they meant is that they've completed the amount, the Pokemon set that's available in North America at this time.
And I can see that. They have accomplished everything that can be accomplished by a North American player to date.
Right. And I'm sure we'll see more people in other regions doing the similar thing over there.
I'm just interested that it was an American who was the first person to do this. Typically, this is something you would expect of more Asian countries.
Yeah, but you got to also remember the places that this game has been available.
Very true.
The full release has only been available in mostly America, Australia. It didn't come to Asian countries until just recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For once, the non-Asians got things first.
#Merca.
#Merca, indeed.
#Team Valor.
Thunder Chicken.
Do we know what team this guy was on?
I didn't make note of that.
Okay. Because I'm curious. You watch. He's gonna be like a Mystic player or something.
Absolutely no clue. Hey, so bad news. Bad news. No Man's Sky has been delayed again.
No! Wait. What kind of delay?
That's 3 days on the PC.
Just on the PC?
Yep, just the PC.
Okay. My day has not been soiled. So what day will it actually come out on the PC?
August 12th.
Okay, so instead of August 9th.
Yep, basically that's how it's gone. The PS4 release for some reason is scheduled to be the same August 9th and then the 10th in Europe because of the way that the release schedule works. But
I can see that.
PC was just like, yep, nope, we need 3 more days.
Fan theory probably has something to do with every new graphics card that's been dropped in the past 2 days.
Very possible.
Or the entire development team got the stomach flu.
You never know. That is always a possibility, I guess.
Like somebody brought in some celebratory Chinese food one day, and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Very well could. Hey, speaking of all the new graphics cards out there, Nvidia dropped
not bad
another
Chinese
bomb.
food?
No,
Okay.
not the Chinese food. Nvidia
Bummer.
dropped another bomb on us.
Boom. Late on me.
Remember when we were comparing all these new graphics cards to how slow the old Titan X was?
Right. It became the old dog in the house.
Yeah. Well, Nvidia just dropped the specs for the Pascal Titan X. Yeah.
I'm looking at the notes right now. It's almost too much for my mind to.
Yeah, 3,584 CUDA cores, which is 1,000 more than the 1080 has. 12 gigs of GDDR5X graphics RAM. They expect it to be 60% faster than the existing Titan X, which I'm guessing then means that it's somewhere between 40 and 60% faster than the 1080, because the 1080 is supposed to be faster than the Titan X, the old Titan X. So that, that's a bit of extrapolated data because no one has one yet.
Right.
But I mean, it's not a, I don't think it's too unreasonable of a assumption to make here. And it's gonna be available for the low cost of $1,200.
Yikes.
Yep.
But at the same time, I can see these in render machines.
Oh,
in
yeah.
in big math boxes, but I can't see this being gaming.
Here's the thing, though. It's always rough for the Titan to be a gaming card, but I did see, because you mentioned the big render rigs and whatnot. They did also release very scant details, very small amounts of things on the new Quadro series that are based on Pascal.
And those are render cards for sure.
Those are legit render cards, and they didn't even bother to put a price on them yet, because that if you got to ask how expensive they are more. And they're double the RAM of the Titan X, so they're going to be like 24 gig RAM cards.
Right. That's like you are Pixar rendering the hair follicles of some woodland creature.
Exactly.
And you need those extra teraflops.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a lot of things coming to the Pascal architecture here.
It's gonna be grand, honestly. Just in its efficiency, I think Pascal really is a solid bringing into the market.
Indeed.
Can't wait to get my hands on one. Really can't.
I mean, you think about also too, just the good content we're gonna get created on them.
Right. The people that are going to be rendering stuff down. It's bringing it down also to a point where now more people, like laymen, are going to get access to these very powerful render tools.
Exactly.
So,
yep.
Your Unity designer is going to. It's going to be great. We're going to see the indie developer finally. I think.
Hold on. Guy. The Unity developer's still going to release junk Unity simulator games that are garbage.
Hey now, I really appreciate coding in Unity. Thank you. It's better than coding in Unreal.
I don't know.
C++, man, it's just not worth it.
I don't know, man. I've seen equally bad games out of both platforms. But, that's a minor thing. That is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the American Truck Podcast with not freelance gamer Jefferson B. and
I am freelance gamer!
You keep telling yourself that. But if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below. Do you have problems with the freelance gamer? You let us know down below. We will see you guys next week.